and the last day of LA City Council before summer recess. Public comment for this morning's meeting will be taken in this council chamber as well as telephonically because of state law.
It's the end of Pride Month, and I'm going to celebrate a leader. But before I celebrate this leader, I want to remind people about pretextual stops. My honoree today was tardy because he was pulled over for really no apparent reason. He was asked to get out of his car, sit on the curb in his suit, and go through all the harassing questions that come along with that. They ended up not giving him a ticket, which happens so often, and his clothes were not the way he wanted to present himself in City Hall, so he had to go back home, change his clothes, gather himself, and get ready for coming today. This is why it's so important to move the pretextual stop motion. So that's how I want to start out. Thank you.
Watch another boom from the margins. Will we create temporary jobs or will we build
Stunned but not surprised to hear why you were late this morning. This is a person who runs an important organization, is a homeowner in our city, who has come up through the ranks. When we met, you were working at the Urban League, understanding the Urban League vision and the Urban League history, and now you run one of the most impactful organizations with regard to moving young people of color into careers and into jobs that can help them have a life here in this city, which is very, very difficult these days, and that they can get a foothold to, one, build a career, but also make a contribution. And so I'm very proud of what you've done, and am just gleeful to sit in this chair and be part of the recognition of one Jeffrey Wallace. And Carrie Harris sends her best, so congratulations to you.
Hello, caller with...
Hello?
Please state your name and the item you're wishing to speak to.
Oh, okay. I guess just general comment because I'm not familiar with the agenda.
You have 1 minute.
All right, thank you very much. City Council, this is LA Valley Gun Club. That's lavalleyGC@gmail.com or LA Valley Gun Club. Yeah, and so this is about...
yes, so Speaker, I apologize.
Yeah.
So hold on, can we, before you begin, so we're beginning with in-person public comment.
I'm confused. That's what I thought you guys were doing.
I understand. We will get to virtual public comment, not your fault. So again, please stay on the line and we will get to virtual public comment. At this point, Mr. President, I do recommend that we read in those summaries of the amendments before we begin public comment. Again, after that, we will start with in-person public comment here in the room before moving over to virtual public comment.
Point of order, why are we doing this today?
Thank you, Councilmember Hurtado. The reason we have to do this is because state law requires us to take over the phone public comment. What that means is the people on the phone have to know what amendments are being introduced before they comment. The city attorney is suggesting to us that it's not enough to put those comments up to put the language up online or in the Zoom chat, that there has to be some verbal record of it for people who are on the telephone. So that's why we're doing it. You can thank our state legislator.
I thank them for so much that they do for us. And they've given us other council members like Bob. So awesome. Substitute item number 116 is amendment to make the resolution consistent with our land acknowledgement policies. Do you have any other amendment? Okay, thank you.
Can you tell us the name you signed up under and the items you want to speak on?
Yes, my name is Angela Birdsong, and I'm speaking to items 118, 82, 83, and general comment.
Okay, so you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general. Please begin.
Thank you. I'm a housing rights organizer for Los Angeles Community Action Network, known as LA CAN. I work in Council District 14. I reside in the city of Inglewood, which is a close neighbor to Los Angeles. And I'm a landlord in Hermosa Beach. ULA is working. Measure ULA is one of the city's most effective tools to keep people housed. It is working. It has helped prevent thousands of people from falling into homelessness and is funding real, permanent, affordable housing. Diverting ULA money towards shelter, which includes interim housing, time-limited subsidies, and anything else is not permanent housing, will only increase houselessness in Los Angeles. The housing production argument doesn't hold up. Blaming ULA for housing slowdown is a distraction, not a data-driven argument. Harris Dawson is using extortion tactics to pressure our tenants' rights movement for the benefit of billionaires. President Council is saying that if we don't give up $90 million over the next 3 years to use on his temporary housing, he and other council members like Tim McCosker will put a measure on that ballot to truly destroy ULA. This is not the only time Harris Dawson in the city council has done this to their working class constituents. They are playing games with people's lives. Protect accountability, honor voter intent, and keep focus on defending ULA, not dismantling it. Working in Los Angeles Community Action Network, we are in Skid Row. We're right there at 838 East 6th Street. We have members, we have tenants, we have constituents who have been in interim housing, who have experienced time-limited subsidies, and it's a revolving door taking you right back to the streets. If you care about people being in the streets, having tent homes, you will want to have permanent affordable housing. And this is what the ULA Money Fund is for, is to increase new construction for affordable permanent housing. Not for shelters, not for TLS, that has a time limit on it and puts them right back to the streets. So we're saying no to 118, we are saying no to 82, but we're saying yes to keep ULA the way that it is, so that people can be housed and not in the streets, and not trying to figure out a path to permanent housing, because there is no path to permanent housing through TLS. Thank you so much.
Buenos días, gordo abogado.
Hold on. Your time has not started yet. You know exactly how this works. I'm sure you don't want to get a warning right off the bat, although I'm pretty sure you disrupted this meeting already. So, members of the public, we're about to hear from one of our infamous daily speakers. I suspect, and I hope I'm wrong on this, but I suspect you're going to hear some things that are potentially very offensive. We do apologize for it. It does not reflect the views of this body, of this city, or anyone here individually, members, staff, or otherwise. We appreciate your patience. The First Amendment requires that we allow them to speak on things that are within the power of this city and on the agenda. So, Mr. Herman, stick to the agenda items. And with that, you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general. Go.
Buenos días, panzón abogado.
Good morning, Fatso lawyer.
Estos objeciones y apelaciones
These objections and continuations
son para babosos como tú, güey.
are for dumbasses like you, dude.
Porque siempre no...
Which item are you speaking to?
Óyame bien, cabrón. Número 8 por 27, pendejo. 19 items. Puto.
Dumbass, I'm talking about item 19.
No, señora. Número 8 por 27 son los appeal y objection.
Number 8 by 27 about appeals and objections.
Estos problemas y asistencia, servicios de preparación, vale madre putos.
These assistances and continuations aren't worth shit.
And are unconstitutional. If you have a lien, contest it. If you're here for a lien, get up at that mic and contest it. Don't let that bully motherfuckers up there take away your property for a fucking lien. Fuck you, Los Angeles. That's item 8 through 27. I oppose in opposition of all those fucking liens. Fuck you, Grote, you dumb fuck. Now to the other item. You want a number? 97, bitch. 97 regarding Bloomfield. Where are you at, Juju? Are you listening? I want you to repair the services along the avenues in Council District 3, Juju, before you leave. So get your ass on it and fix it. Now on the other item, like 98, asshole Bloomfield, regarding the Bothwell Ranch. I want ADA compliance in those fucking restrooms. You're going to put bars, you're going to put tactile, you're going to make it so compliant that I can see my ass shine off the reflection of the tile when I take a shit like you. Also, the walking, the trails, the signage, all have to be in the restroom in compliance under the ADA 2010 standards, you stupid motherfucker. Then I go into number 99, you fucking retarded asshole bald spot attorney, regarding Bloomfield in CD 3 25-1331. $500,000 fucking dollars for project services, clarifications, and reservations for the above fund transfer. I'm against it. Fuck you, Los Angeles. You got a fucked up plan and a fucked up attitude and a fucked up DA. Then I go to the other item on number fucking over 100 fucking items. How do you expect people to react? Well, I'm reacting. Another one, 99. Fuck item 99. Fuck item 100. Fuck item 104. And fuck you, Mr. Attorney, for the record. I'm still on topic. Then I go on to the issue on HUT. HUT says about homeless outreach services. You heard of the news? Outreach services suck. You suck, motherfuckers. I have a right to understand why I've been homeless. Now the world knows why you're homeless. Fuck you. You should have fought these bitches on
General
these issues.
public comment.
Now into my general public comment, you said? Dog eater on non-agenda.
If you do not want to do your general public comment, you do not have to. Believe me, we certainly don't care.
Brandenburg versus Ohio, KKK. US 395 444 1969. Listen, nowhere in this world has this city done any good for the public. You jammed up our ass, this whole agenda, at the end of summer before you go on vacation. Well, guess what? I see that as a dirty nigger move, and that shouldn't happen, right? That is offensive, it is retaliatory, and discriminatory. Under the Bain Act 52.1,
Please
don't
silence
threaten
his,
me,
please
motherfucker.
silence his microphone. Speaker, you have used one of the prohibited words, which is a violation of Council Rule 7. This is your only warning. And this word and any of its variations or any of the other words described in Council Rule 7 may not be used again in this council meeting and any future council meetings or any future council committee meetings. If you violate the rule again, you will forfeit your speaking time and be removed from this meeting. Also, sergeants, if we have the handheld mic, we need that person to be in the center aisle as close as they are able to get to the podium. Next time, please do not allow someone to speak for dubious reasons, especially from the 18th row of the gallery. Thank you.
It's not my fault you suffer from HTS, you retard. So, for the record, 42 U.S.C. 1983 politely and with all Donald Trump forwarding this message,
Mr.
fuck
Herman,
you.
Your time has expired. You have been warned. If you disrupt this meeting again, you'll be subject to removal pursuant to Rule 7 and Rule 12. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot apologize enough. I just want the record to reflect. We even had to have someone take their children out of the room. The Brown Act applies to a lot of different things. It does not apply to, it does not force Mr. Herman to be polite in any sense of the word. Again, we appreciate your patience and we are truly, truly sorry. This is a regular occurrence and we He is allowed to speak, and we enforce the rules as we are allowed to do. He's been given plenty of warnings, and at this point, you'd think he'd know the rules almost as well as I do. With that, sorry, go ahead, Mr. President.
And with that, I'll just ask, our friends in the state legislature made the decision to require us to have telephonic public comment. They did nothing, zero, about what we just heard. And so I'd call on them, since they want to intervene in our meetings, I'd call on them to do something about what they just heard. Thank you.
My name is Clara Solis. My children are here today. I like to think that I taught them to live their life with integrity and to be honest and loyal friends, and to always be honest and upfront on what you're going to do and do what you're going to do. Today, we have a resolution in 116 that has changed to something that I don't know what it is. I haven't had time to read it. It's much longer. I ask that this be tabled because it is not what we asked for. With Save San Pascual Park, we asked that the City of Los Angeles and our council member oppose the Arroyo Seco water reuse project. I'm sorry, I'm very upset after just getting this amendment. I supported the original resolution as it was originally proposed. The Gabrielino Band of Mission Indians were identified in a sacred land search by the California Native American Commission. Pasadena notified 10 tribes of the project. Only the Quiche Nation responded and provided documentary evidence and documentation of their claim. They have requested full avoidance of the sacred site. I support their request for full avoidance. The site of the Arroyo Seco water reuse project is in the San Pascual Valley. Every part of the San Pascual Valley is within a quarter mile of the 110 freeway. Many of our homes are within 25 feet of the freeway. We have over 70 apartment buildings. Over 60% of our residents are linguistically isolated, and a recent study of a part of our neighborhood found 63% of the residents were renters. All but 6 of the homes in this valley are in the city of Los Angeles. In terms of pollution and heat island impacts, topography matters. Our neighborhood is a bowl. When smoke from the Lineage fire came this way, the air stayed bad. What protects us from pollution is our trees. So when we found out this project was going to cut down 136 trees, we were outraged. We then found out it was going to take a half acre of our parkland, our San Pascual parkland. LA is one of the most park-poor communities in the nation. Our side of the 110 freeway is especially poor. This isn't the first time our San Pascual parkland has been taken. South Pasadena's Stony Drive and part of their parking lot for the South Pasadena Ballpark was built on San Pascual parkland. There are no permits for this. We sued Pasadena and South Pasadena in 2024, demanding an environmental impact with better alternatives. Our lawsuit describes how they had never had a single meeting in Los Angeles, how all the materials were in English with not a single line of Spanish. We told how they tried to hide the project from us by mailing notices the day before Thanksgiving to arrive on Black Friday. They settled our lawsuit, giving us an EIR. Unfortunately, the project is now the same with worse alternatives. And again, not a single public hearing in Los Angeles. The other speakers will tell you more. Project proponents say this project will be good for us because we can walk around the containment basins and read signs that say what a great project it is. Back then we said, wait a minute, we can walk through the stream and see wildlife now. And what about the 100-year-old trees? You can't just cut down a mature tree and replant smaller trees and expect them to provide the same benefit. It takes decades. I ask
Thank you. Speaker, your time has expired.
Okay, I would like to say, Ms. Roma, wherever she's at, I was able to cast that vote. I got there in time to cast that vote that day for you. Hope you make it in. Anyway, I'm coming up here to talk about the UTLA. It's often said that if something is not broken, then you don't have to fix it. And if it's fixed, you don't have to break it. I've never came up and I don't, Mr. I guess he's the president in here. Yes, I can't see that far. I'm sorry. But I don't respect presidents much these days anyway. We got one in the White House, and I'd rather respect the 2-year-old than respect him. Anyway, ULA is one of the most effective tools to keep people housed and working, okay? It has helped prevent thousands of people from falling into homeless situations outside. I don't know what you're going to do between now and 2028, but it's true we must keep people off the street. Don't make this look like a city that's way back in the country days or something, you know what I mean? But I would like to come and just say that ULA is doing a great job. So if it's working, don't break it. I mean, they're doing a great job, and they're keeping people off the street, from living on the street. If you've ever been homeless before, then you will understand, okay? How many of you guys up here have ever been homeless? Up there in the whole council? Is there anybody? Because I've been there and done that before, okay? And please, do what you can to keep this situation going with ULA. Please, I'm asking that. I won't take up too much of your time. That's just about it. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Next speaker. And as we wait for Mr. Spindler to get up here, I'm just a message to the gentleman who walked his children out of the room during Mr. Herman's public comment. You might want to do the same thing during this public commenter as well, just giving everybody the same warning. So, Mr. Spindler, this is your first and only formal warning. You also know the rules. Do not disrupt me while I'm trying to give instructions to the members of the public who are here. Your time has not started. We are going to wait for the children to be able to leave the room. Again, we really appreciate everyone's patience, and I apologize to the father who has to walk his children out of the room for the second time today. With that, you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Go ahead.
That's right. Good morning, criminals. Item 118 is the big fuck ULA tax. Why, with all the fucking taxes being applied, do we have to fucking pay a transfer tax because a property is worth a particular amount of money? And what do you do with this goddamn money? Nobody gets any housing with this money. It goes to nothing but money laundering. Go over to Hoover and Wilshire Boulevard and look at Heather Hutt, how she launders the money, kicking the people out of the housing and put them on the streets in a burnt-out building. Look at Eunice Hernandez and what she does with ULA money, how she puts every homeless person in every cul-de-sac, in every alley to be dumped on our streets, like Carondelet and fucking Hoover, 8th Street and Rampart, 8th Street and Coronado, 7th Street and Coronado. So you ain't spending this money on the homeless, you're laundering the fucking money. Also, there's a goddamn state constitutional amendment coming up on the ballot that's going to prevent you from doing this. Get rid of ULA in its entirety, refund the money back to the Jews, and let's start all over again with this bullshit. So now we get to motherfucking cold storage on 119. Did you know that Kevin De Leon knew what Heather and Isabel knew. Did you know that storage facility had a violation? They had already had problems on the roof with a potential fire. Did you know that, Heather? Did you know that they didn't go back and make sure that that building was safe before they started construction again? Did you know that the fire suppression system was not properly inspected annually by the Los Angeles Fire Department? Did you know that, Isabel? Did you know that? Of course you don't know that. And when they fucking kicked out Kevin De Leon to put your incompetent ass into that goddamn seat, that's why the goddamn fire happened. Kevin was sitting there wouldn't have been no goddamn fire in that goddamn storage facility because Kevin De Leon was going to stop that shit and make them do their inspections. But not Isabel. Isabel cut the fire budget. So those fire inspectors had no money to inspect anything, and now it's burnt down. If you want to get free food, you go to Boyle Heights. If you want to see rats get free food, you go to Boyle Heights. If you want to see what burnt out shit looks like, you go to Boyle Heights. Now, if you want to live like a human, do what Spencer Pratt's going to do and move to Santa Barbara. Now we get to the general comment. From the bottom of my heart, I want to wish all 15 of you the worst fucking holiday vacation you have ever had in your fucking lives. Because there is nothing more disgusting, criminal, thievery, corruption than this 15-member council body. You do nothing but conspire to scheme, lie, cheat, blackmail, steal, murder potentially, I hear, kidnap, kill. Call up fucking social services to try people's kids out of their homes. This motherfucking city attorney says that he protects children. They'll send social services out to your house if you're a fucking problem for their mafia. And they've done it before. So now Imelda's got a headache. I understand, Imelda. And I know there's pills you can take. But if you go over to Woodley Avenue between Victory and Burbank, Imelda, they can give you something where you feel no pain for the whole vacation. Fuck y'all.
And as the next speaker comes up, I should have mentioned earlier, you don't have to be a child and you don't have to have children to leave the room during that public comment. You are more than welcome to do that.
Mi nombre es Gaby Segovia. Vivo en la comunidad de Wilmington, California.
Good morning. My name is Gaby Segovia. I live in Wilmington.
Somos parte del CD15.
We're part of the 15th district.
Soy madre de 4 hijos que van a diferentes escuelas en mi comunidad y soy abuela de un niño de 2 años.
I have 4 kids that all go to school in the community, and I am a grandmother of a baby. Excuse me, interpreter correction, of 2 babies.
Voy a hablar sobre el artículo 96.
I'd like to speak on item number 96.
Yo apoyo esta ordenanza porque es importante que las tiendas de humo no estén cerca de las escuelas.
I think it is important that these stores are not next to schools.
Porque pueden influir en los estudiantes para que prueben productos que dañan, como el tabaco y los dispositivos de vapeo.
Because they can influence students to try products such as tobacco and vaping products.
Ver estas tiendas todos los días puede hacer que fumar parezca algo normal y aceptable para nuestros niños y nuestros jóvenes.
Seeing these stores around every day can make it appear that smoking and the use of tobacco is normal and acceptable for our youth.
Las tiendas de humo cerca de las escuelas también pueden aumentar la tentación de que los estudiantes menores de edad compren y usen estos productos.
These smoke shops that are next to these schools can also increase the temptation for these kids to want to try these tobacco products.
Tenemos que mantener estas tiendas de humo muy alejadas de nuestras escuelas. Esto nos va a ayudar a crear un ambiente más seguro y saludable para nuestros niños y nuestros jóvenes.
We have to keep these smoke shops far away from schools. This will help us maintain a safe and secure environment for our youth.
Y así ellos puedan concentrarse en aprender y tomar decisiones positivas.
This way they can concentrate on their learning and take better positive decisions.
Por favor, les pido a todos, el bienestar de nuestros niños y nuestros jóvenes es trabajo de todos.
Please, I'm asking all of you, the well-being of our youth is a shared work of all of us.
Recuerden que podría ser tu hijo, tu nieto, tu sobrino el que puede estar acerca de esas tiendas y de estar en peligro. Gracias.
Please remember, this could be your child, your grandchild, your nephew that is affected by these smoke shops close to the schools. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Alicia Baltazar. I too reside in the 1-5. As I said last time I was here, this initiative was started by community members that live near the smoke shops in our community. They came and let us know that since the smoke shops has opened, they were unable to live like they normally do. They were community members that have lived there for 20 plus years and were now having to put up a fence because people were showering and having sex in their yard. This was also brought to my attention from business owners that had to try to operate their businesses next to these smoke shops. One in particular is a laundromat that is having a lot of problems with the people who are hanging out at these smoke shops. But when I really picked up this fight was when my son came home from school and let me know that the vape pens were only $10 on the corner by his school. And when I asked him how he knew that the pens only cost $10, he informed me that it's because his friends had just purchased some on their walk home from school. So these smoke shops being so close to our schools are giving kids their access way too easily. I'll go ahead and wait.
1 minute.
Thank you. I'm also a member of Reclaim Our Schools Los Angeles and a member of Alliance for California Community Empowerment. And one of the things we do, we've been working on safe passages to and from our schools. These smoke shops directly undermine the work that we have done to make kids safe going to and from schools. I'm here today to remind you guys that the students are our future, and when we don't take care of them, we fail our future of our communities. It is our least bare minimum to support these kids by providing a safe space for them to walk to and from schools. These smoke shops we know are illegally gambling, we know that they're selling drugs, we know that they're just bringing a lot of nuisance to our communities, and we feel like it's not fair for our students to have to walk past these. Where I live in Wilmington, there are 5 schools within less than a mile of each other. And within that little ring, there's 3 smoke shops that my kid has to walk through to get to school. I live literally like 2 blocks away from the school, and my kid has to walk past 3 of them to get to and from. That's a problem, and we ask you to please do something about that.
Good morning, council members. Happy 4th of July. Yesterday, there was a great discussion about recreation and parks funding. I agree we must do everything possible to fund recreation and parks. I am asking, no, I am pleading that Recreation and Parks, which oversees One Generation building, to do everything possible to improve the facility and landscaping. It saddens me to see seniors and veterans sitting outside on dead grass and weeds. Mr. Blumenfield, the community is ready and willing to helping rejuvenate One Generation. With your leadership, we can complete this. Sadly, sir, before you leave office.
Thank you. Just quickly, yesterday, great discussion here in the council meeting. But again, as we had to do today with item 96 and all others on the agenda, we had a gentleman or a man who's an insult to God, to man, and to the mentally ill, because he uses that claim so that he can act like an idiot here. And we all know who we're talking about. We're talking about Herman. But you know what's the worst part of this whole thing? Is the way this council handles, you've lost control of what's happening here. Take back control, treat the people with respect. Sorry for those young kids who had to leave here because you allow an insult to God by a man named Herman. And to the African American community, I'm sorry that you had to hear all these years later, we had to hear an idiot like him who uses mental illness to be excused. Apologize to all the African Americans.
Morning, my name is Yvonne Wheeler, and I am the president of the Los Angeles City Council. Council President and council members, today we have a choice. We can protect one of the most important victories working people have won in the city, or we can allow it to be weakened. Measure ULA is doing exactly what the voters intended it. It's creating good union jobs, building desperately needed affordable housing, and keeping families in their homes. and also investing in communities that have been left behind for far too long. That is why Labor stands firmly behind preserving ULA and supports item 81 and 82. It strengthens implementation while protecting the will of the voters. What we cannot do is send ULA back to the ballot. Going back to the ballot would hand wealthy special interests another opportunity to spend millions of dollars to dismantle a measure that is already delivering results for working families. Every dollar spent fighting the same battle again is a dollar not spent housing people, creating jobs, or preventing homelessness. The people have already spoken. Our responsibility is not to relitigate their decision, it is to honor it. Let's protect ULA. Support items 81 and 82 and continue building Los Angeles where working people can afford to live, work, and thrive. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Jesse, and I'm an organizer with LA Can, and I'm a resident of Skid Row. I am here to urge the council to oppose placing amendments to measure ULA on the ballot and to oppose the so-called compromise that came out of the ad hoc committee. Both would hijack ULA funds to go toward shelter. That includes interim housing, time-limited subsidies, and anything that is not permanent housing. This is a betrayal of the will of the thousands of voters and of LA Can members who organized, phone banked, knocked on doors to get ULA passed. Undoing ULA will only increase houselessness in the long term. Measure ULA is working. In just 1 year, it has raised over $1 billion and helped keep more than 10,000 people housed. Funding shelter and temporary housing instead of permanent housing and tenant protection shows our elected leaders are not serious about solving the crisis, but only want to remove unhoused people from sight to appease their wealthy constituents. I do community watch every week in Skid Row, and I witness people being brutally criminalized under LA Municipal Code 4118 simply for existing on the streets. People are harassed, displaced, and pushed from block to block while trying to survive. And now one of the biggest sources of funding that actually helps prevent homelessness and create permanent housing is being threatened. In the city that claims to care about ending homelessness, right now, 7 people are already dying every day on the streets of Los Angeles. Gutting Measure ULA to push the mayor's interim housing agenda will only push more people into homelessness. People do not need somewhere to temporarily exist. They need real, permanent housing with dignity, stability, and safety. We cannot afford to go backwards. We need to strengthen our commitment, protect Measure ULA, and continue investing in solutions that treat housing as a human right.
Like I said, my name is Lex Meyer. I'm here with Los Angeles Community Action Network. I'm a student at Occidental College, and I'm here to tell you that ULA is working. Measure ULA is one of the city's most effective tools to keep people housed. It's working. It's helped prevent thousands of people from falling into houselessness and is funding real, permanent, affordable housing solutions. Since taking effect, ULA has raised more than $1.2 billion and kept over 10,000 people housed and reached more than 154,000 tenants through Stay Housed LA. We urge you to vote no on items 118 and 82. Diverting ULA funding towards shelters, which includes interim housing, time-limited subsidies, and anything else that is not permanent housing will only increase houselessness in LA. Hijacking funding from permanent housing and houselessness prevention to spend on time-limited subsidies betrays the will of thousands of voters, tenants, and tenants, particularly those impacted by the housing crisis, and undermines the purpose of Measure ULA. This is an undemocratic process that hurts working-class tenants in favor of billionaires and corporations. Voters overwhelmingly approved Measure ULA. What is the percentage of voters that want these amendments? This is not a democratic process. This was a negotiation between the 1%, negotiated by the 1% with their interests in mind. They're playing games with people's lives, and we need to protect accountability, honor voter intent, and keep the focus on defending ULA. No on 118, no on 82, and keep ULA the way it is.
My name is Laura Nakiem. I'm the Climate Campaign Director at the LA Alliance for a New Economy, where we work with labor partners like the building trades and UTLA and with community allies for climate investments and union jobs. And we stand here today with Measure ULA because housing justice is climate justice. And the city needs ULA to fund the rental assistance, legal services, and union-built affordable housing that will keep people housed and off the street and create life-changing careers for Angelenos. Developers and other corporate interests have often claimed that the sky is falling, and Lane has done research showing time and time again these claims do not bear out. Year after year, community advocates and unions work to make life better for working people, and the wealthiest claim it will ruin everything. Year after year, when the changes that we together have won go into effect, we see how our economy, our workers, our neighbors, our families see real improvements in their lives from these progressive changes. The council already has the power to make certain modest amendments if they're in line with the measure's original intent as approved by voters, such as what came out of the ad hoc committee. We oppose broad changes, such as in item 118, that would require going back to the voters. As Ms. Wheeler just said, the people have spoken. We need to stand with ULA. We need its programs, services, and union-built affordable housing to stabilize LA, and we urge your support to protect it. Thank you.
Good morning, Council President Harris Dawson and members of Council. My name is Ariel Moore, and I'm the Deputy Policy Director with the Los Angeles County Federation of Labor. Over the last several months, we've heard the same argument again and again, that Measure ULA isn't working and should go back to the ballot. But the evidence tells a different story. This crisis is a predictable outcome of a housing market that's oriented towards speculative investment and wealth accumulation instead of social good. ULA has already generated more than $1 billion to address our affordable housing and houselessness crisis. It's building more affordable housing, protecting tenants from displacement, and helping people move from homelessness into permanent housing, while preserving existing affordable homes. This affordable housing shortage, not ULA, is what created the crisis. If the goal is to improve implementation, you've already done the work. The ad hoc committee spent months bringing together labor, affordable housing advocates, community organizations to develop thoughtful technical amendments. These recommendations strengthen implementation, support affordable housing production, protect prevailing wage, and expand interim housing, all without reopening the measure that Los Angeles voters have already approved. Your vote today is a direct reflection of whose side you are on. Critics contend that Measure ULA discourages investment, distorts market incentives, and reduces efficiency. But this argument is classic microeconomic taxation around who deserves and who doesn't. Reject any proposal that weakens ULA or cuts the resources voters dedicated to solving this crisis. Support targeted relief for families impacted by the Palisades fire, and finish the job by advancing the technical amendments we need to improve this program and its outcomes immediately. Fundamentally, Measure ULA constitutes a robust local policy that is helping housing be built. Thank you.
Thank you. I signed up as Sam Rosterman today. I'm going to speak to all 600 of the items that are on the agenda or whatever it is in general public comment.
So you have 3 minutes for items 1 through 27 and 81 through 123, followed by a minute of general. Please begin.
So we have lots of items related to housing, mostly about not building housing and kicking people out of the housing that already exists and then criminalizing them when they're out on the streets. So for example, we have item 86, which is related to the 2025 fires emergency. So it almost seems like, yeah, the fire ended a long time ago, but it's still an emergency because you're not rebuilding anything. Rebuilding is going so slow. Officer Tracy is completely screwing up the recovery effort and lying to her constituents, which is how she ended up getting so many votes. They all think she's doing something, but it's all a lie. She's not actually doing anything. So, and it's all about rebuilding for the Olympics, the MAGA Olympics, all that shit, instead of rebuilding for community members and people who live in the city and would like their homes rebuilt. So we got a lot of items related to ULA today. ULA, you want to completely gut ULA because you're mad, because rich people are mad that people are getting housed and such. So I think it's very obvious that ULA is doing what it's supposed to do, and we should continue to let the voter-approved Measure ULA continue to help build more housing so that more people can be housed. You know, the voters approved ULA, so obviously that's what people wanted. It got on the ballot. I signed the petition. It got on the ballot, and it was approved by the voters. So, and now you want to gut it because I guess that's the one thing you're going to put on the ballot is getting ULA. So, what a joke this whole council is. None of you are even paying attention. We got and then once they're not able to get a house and kicked out of their house, then you get onto the street, and you have items like item 93, which is an RV ban from city staffer B, who's currently planning his next trip to Las Vegas to collect some more bribes. And we've got, so criminalizing homelessness with these RV bans with 4118 is not going to get people housed. It's not going to get people services. It just puts them in jail because they exist on the street, I guess. You know, that's so disgusting, and it's contributing to the fact that, 6 unhoused people die on the streets of LA every day, and you're now doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on all these policies. Are you going for 7? I mean, I don't know. It's like there's so many people dying on the streets out every day, and you're not getting them housing, you're not getting them services, you're just criminalizing their existence, and it's so disgusting. Let's move on to general public comment.
Okay.
A very happy SB 707 day to everyone who celebrates. Marquise is clearly so upset about it. I don't know why. It's just allowing people to give call and comment. Why are you so offended and upset by it? It's allowing more people to give public comment. But it's very obvious that Marquise just seems to have a general disdain for the public. It's so weird. It just seems to just generally despise everyone just because or something. And he's so upset that more people are going to be able to give public comment over Zoom. So, and of course, I'm kind of also committing a questionable act here by giving summaries of the amendments. I don't think that's what you're supposed to do. I think you're supposed to read the whole amendment in so that the people on the phone know exactly what the amendment is. Currently, they're just getting a nice little summary, and they've got to try to comment on that summary. Fire Jim McDonald. Shame on you for gutting almost every single charter reform.
Thank you.
Estoy aquí una vez más para pedirles que apoyen la moción de la concejal Isabel Jurado y dejen de atacar la medida ULA.
So I'm here once again to ask you to support Isabel Jurado's motion and for you to stop attacking Measure ULA.
El señor Marquesi y el concejal Tim que dejen de pedir cambios a ULA. Ustedes fueron elegidos para servir al pueblo, no para proteger los intereses de unos cuantos millonarios.
So to Mr. Marquise and Mr. Tim, please stop changing Measure ULA. You are elected to represent the people, not to make the few who are upset happy.
Ya basta de decir que ULA no sirve. Claro que sirve. Gracias a ULA, muchas familias han tenido acceso a abogados gratuitos para defender sus hogares y hoy también están generando recursos para construir vivienda social permanente para nuestras comunidades.
And so enough with saying Measure ULA doesn't work. It does work. It's working now. Measure ULA has provided free attorneys to people who are trying to protect themselves so that they can stay in their home, and it's providing more resources so that we can build permanent social housing.
Los únicos que atacan a ULA son quienes no quieren pagar impuestos para ayudar a la gente. No permiten que los intereses de unos cuantos pesen más que las necesidades de miles de familias trabajadoras.
And so the only people who are actually complaining about Measure ULA and attacking it are the ones that just don't want to pay taxes to actually help people. So don't let the complaints and the interests of the few outweigh the help that we're getting for thousands of working class families.
ULA fue aprobada democráticamente por el pueblo. Respeten ese voto, defiendan a los inquilinos, defiendan nuestras comunidades y defiendan al pueblo, no a los millonarios.
And so the Measure ULA was approved democratically by the people. Respect our votes. So defend the tenants, defend the community and the people, and stop defending the millionaires.
Ya basta de ataques contra ULA y no al 118 y no a la 82.
Stop, enough with the attacks on ULA, no to 118 and no to 82.
Y un comentario que quiero hacer para todos. Por favor, se me hace una falta de respeto que nosotros vengamos aquí a dar nuestro comentario público y veo que muchos de ustedes no prestan atención. Y para mí eso es una falta de respeto a todos los que venimos aquí a pedir que apoyen a ULA. Gracias.
And so, one last personal comment to all of you. Please pay attention to us when we come here to give public comment. To me, it is disrespectful for us to take time out of our day to come and give public comment, and many of you aren't even paying attention. We're all here to support Measure ULA, and it's disrespectful that you're not paying attention to our public comment. Thank you.
Resulta indignante ver que Harris Thompson emplea las mismas tácticas de extorsión que los millonarios.
It's infuriating to see Harris Dawson is using the same extortion tactics that billionaires are using.
Amenazar con someter una propuesta a votación popular a menos que se les conceda lo que exigen.
And he is threatening to put a ULA measure on the ballot unless we give him the money that he's asking for.
Esto ya ocurrió con la medida del salario mínimo para los Juegos Olímpicos y con la ULA a nivel estatal.
This has already happened to the Olympic wage and the ULA measure at the state level.
En este caso, nos amenaza con llevar una medida sobre ULA a las urnas si no le asignamos $120 millones durante 4 años para un programa de vivienda provisional.
In this case, he is threatening to put a ULA measure on the ballot unless we give him $120 million for 4 years for an interim housing program that's not working.
Que no está funcionando porque no sacan esos fondos del presupuesto policial.
So the interim housing program is not working, but why don't you guys take that money out of the police budget?
Él y otros concejales como Tim McHoster impulsarán una medida electoral destinada a destruir verdaderamente a ULA. No es la primera vez que Harris Thompson y el Consejo Municipal actúan de esta manera con electores de la clase trabajadora. Gracias.
He and the other council members, like Tim McOsker, will put a measure on that ballot to truly destroy ULA. This is not the only time Harris Dawson and the City Council have done this to their working class constituents.
안녕하십니까. 제 이름은 로즈이며 오늘 안건 118번에 대해 발언하고자 합니다.
So good morning, my name is Rose and I would like to speak regarding item 118 today.
ULA는 그동안 12억 달러의 재원을 마련했고 LA 역사상 처음으로 2년 연속 노숙 숫자 감소를 이끌어냈으며 지난 한 해 동안 퇴거 소송 건수를 16%나 감소시키는 데 기여했습니다.
Today, ULA has secured $1.2 billion in funding, driven a reduction in homelessness for 2 consecutive years, our first in LA's history, and contributed to a 16% drop in eviction filing over the past year.
이것은 단순한 숫자가 아닙니다. 바로 자신들의 보금자리를 지켜낸 우리 이웃들의 삶입니다.
So these are not merely numbers, they represent the lives of our neighbors who have managed to stay housed.
현재 제한된 신축 건물의 면제 조치는 합리적인 가격의 주택 공급의 의무는 면제해 주면서 매년 수천만 달러의 세수를 감소시켜 이 훌륭한 프로그램들을 위협하게 될 것입니다.
The currently proposed exemption for new construction would waive the requirement to provide affordable housing while reducing annual tax revenue by tens of millions of dollars, thereby jeopardizing these vital programs.
저는 시의회에서 그 어떠한 수정안과 이를 이번 11월 선거 시 발의안에 상정하려는 안건을 반대합니다.
I oppose any city council amendments or proposals to place this issue on the ballot this November election.
지금 우리 커뮤니티는 ULA에 더 많은 기금을 확보하여 세입자여 렌트 보조, 현금 보조, 그리고 영구조, 저소득 아파트 건축에 지원해야 하는 때입니다.
Now is the time for our community to secure more ULA funding to support tenants with rent assistance for seniors and the construction of permanent low-income housing.
마지막으로 안건 118번에 대한 반대 투표를 촉구합니다.
Thank you. Next speaker.
I'm here to speak on item 3, and I would like Ms. Park's attention specifically.
Okay, so you have 1 minute.
Excuse me? Can I start?
You have 1 minute. Your time is starting now.
Okay, I and other community members who could not be here demand that the City Council stop the ballot tabulation and reject the proposed renewal of the Venice Beach Business Improvement District. You cannot lawfully adopt final findings unless they are supported by substantial evidence. Street and Highways Code 36621 includes, upon submission of written petitions signed by the property or business owners in the proposed district who will pay more than 50% of the assessment proposed to be levied, the City Council may initiate proceedings and form a district by the adoption of a resolution expressing the intention to form a district. The City of Los Angeles is the largest property owner in the Venice Beach bid, representing 30.83% of the total assessment. The city submitted a petition for 23.28 of the required proponent petitions, so private property owners only represented.
Thank you, Speaker. Your time has expired. Thank you. And is there anyone else here? So
that's your time, ma'am.
Peggy Lee Kennedy, Venice Justice, and Ms. Malloy is correct that over 30% is a city-owned property, and that is inaccurate. This should be privately owned. And not only that, this bid is like a sub-police to target unhoused people, and it's used exactly that way, and it's really wrong. In our council district, that's all that's happening, is being targeting unhoused people for lots of money, and we don't need more. This bid is wrong, and the way it's being used is wrong. It's protecting nobody but the city, mostly the city property, from being used by the people that it's removed from us, the diaspora, the people that have actually been removed, people who are people of color, elderly people that are ganged up on by.
With that, Mr. President, would we like to move to virtual public comment? And I will read in the instructions for virtual public comment. I will ask that everyone pay particularly close attention, as this is the first time in a while that we have had virtual public comment, and some of the instructions are new. And with that, I will ask the staff to now enable the raise hand function. And whenever the staff is ready, we can begin with the callers. Callers, once it's your turn to speak, please state which items you'd like to speak to. Hello? And whether or not you would like general. Yes, hello, we can hear you. What would you like to speak to?
Hey, what's up, Gro? I miss you, man. All available items and general public comment, please.
Okay, so you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the items. Go ahead.
Thank you. Always a pleasure. So we have a bunch of business improvement districts here. You know what really would improve the businesses would be if you did something about the rent that businesses have to pay. They don't really need any more tax breaks. They get a lot of help through a lot of different programs. They whine a lot. And honestly, that gets kind of old because there aren't a lot of programs for people that don't own businesses. But that being said, what would be better is if in all these different business improvement districts, the rents were just slashed in half. You know what would help businesses thrive? If they paid less rent. We always hear all these different reasons why businesses go out of business, but in reality, the number one reason is that they're in debt, and that's because they've been borrowing money to patch up the different properties that they don't even own and that they rent out. And then what happens is they get shut down for a health code violation because there's a hole in their roof that they didn't have the money to repair for a property they don't even own, and now that business goes out of business. So cut the business's rent. That's what would improve them. And, you know, I don't even own a business, and business owners kind of treat me like shit sometimes, but I'm still going to advocate for y'all because I'd rather see a bunch of small businesses in LA than a bunch of Amazon warehouses everywhere. Cut the rent for the businesses. Now for, I believe there's a bunch of liens, right? Lien items. The liens, this is the city shaking down homeowners. They're looking for like, it's almost like when you're broke as fuck and you want like, you just want just enough money for like, I don't know, like a drink or something. And you go hit up the couch and you start digging through all the cushions and looking through your car and you're like, fuck, I know I left $1 in here somewhere. That's what they're doing. They're fiending for the public cash. And what are they doing? Instead of going to all these different 501c3s and different developers that have been promising to give us money, services and projects completed, instead just taking our money and running. Instead of going to those sources, they're shaking down all the homeowners for basically pocket change to them, but to the public is the difference between living in your own home or being out on the fucking street dying. Now for the ULA item. They, all these fake progressive candidates, we really need to stop supporting them. This is what they do. They use all of y'all as cannon fodder, like storming the beaches of Normandy to get mowed down. So what happens? You do a bunch of work for them. They get to call it a victory. And when they run for mayor, they get to pat themselves on the back and say, look what I did. When in reality, what it is the public voices their opinion through the ballot. And what does the city council do? They gut that shit. They gut ULA. They take money from a program that works and put it to programs that don't work. And that's what they want to do here. And the reason why they did an amendment through committee and they don't want to send it to the ballot is because they don't want the people to decide what they do with their own money.
General public comment?
Bob Blumenfeld, I'm sorry, I got this. General public comment. Look how Marquise Harris Dawson begrudgingly accepts that we live in a country with the First Amendment, freedom of speech. And look how they beg for the state to come and step in so we don't have to hear these naughty words by Mr. Herman. Where's that energy for what allegedly spurred on the charter reform process, which was the audio leaks between we're not going to call it the Fed, we're going to call it the Federation of Labor, which is what it is, and the Democrat city council members about literally taking power away from black people because they're not Mexican. Like, where's the energy for that? And throughout that whole process, nothing has been done about fixing that. They literally just let that happen. So I want to see that energy for the people that actually have power to do shit. LA Valley Gun Club at gmail.com, LA Valley GC at gmail.com. We need to defend ourselves because they won't defend us. And they use people like Mr. Herman and Spiller to take away our rights.
Time has expired. Can we move on to the next caller, please? And bear with us. Again, we are reinstituting virtual public comment, so we're just, yep, we're good? Okay.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. What would you like to speak to?
Okay. My name is Christopher Martinez. I'd like to speak on items 87 and 88 and general public comments.
Okay, so you have 2 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general. Please begin with the items. Go ahead.
Perfect. First and foremost, I just want to thank the Budget and Finance, Finance and Budget Committee, the Government Operations Committee, and the Council for pushing forward the tax amnesty program, including want to thank the DCR as well for helping social equity operators with the tax amnesty program to give them a leg up and an opportunity to pay back their taxes and get in good standing. I think it's a great step forward, and it's going to assist or help the success of these operators. I did want to make some comments on what is being proposed. There's an opportunity to do a 3-year payment program, and there's also discussions about a 5-year payment program. My suggestion is to just go across the board with the 5-year payment program, so there's no ambiguity in regards to the payment options. Essentially, what a large business operator can sustain as far as a payment plan might be different than a small one. So I think the 5-year payment program is going to be across the board more beneficial and useful, and also help the tax amnesty program be successful so the city could get some of the tax returned to them. Additionally, I'd like to make comments on the aside from the tax amnesty program, also let me see here. These are give me a sec. Shoot. I guess just general comments since I missed my notes. I also wanted to.
That's fine. You have 1 minute for general.
In regards to, sorry. The comment was going to be in regards to the no tax on the first $1 million generated for a business. This measure is similar to what Oakland and San Francisco are doing. This will also greatly benefit the social equity operators and help them sustain their businesses and get another leg up to compete against the black market. So this is a great opportunity as well. And overall, I just want to thank the DCR again and the council and the committee members for listening to the industry. Ultimately, we do need to lower the taxes overall, and I know it's a process that it takes, but ultimately lowering the taxes below the 10%, which currently is one of the state's highest taxes on cannabis. Lowering that 10% will ultimately stabilize the industry and help the longevity of the industry. So thank you for your time.
Next caller, please press *6 to unmute.
Hello, my name is Jennifer Marshall, and I'm new to this, but I do want to speak on Council File number 94-260832 about a grant agreement.
Okay, so you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe that's on the agenda. So you can certainly speak to it during general public comment. Are there any items on the agenda you'd like to speak to? Otherwise, you'll have 1 minute for general.
No, I guess it would be just general comments on it, please.
You have 1 minute for general public comment. Go ahead.
Thank you. My name is Professor Jennifer Marshall from CSUN, and I'm here to urge the City Council to vote in support of the $14.22 million grant to Los Angeles Animal Services. The department is seeking $31.8 million for its operating budget, but Mayor Bass's proposal allots roughly $29 million, leaving a meaningful gap. This grant doesn't replace the city's responsibility. It gives LAS breathing room to add critically needed staff now, while proving out whether those positions deserve permanent city funding down the line. And that's a smart way to test improvements without committing taxpayer dollars. Private philanthropy is stepping up to fill urgent gaps while the city gets its budget right is exactly the kind of partnership that should be welcome. So I urge you all to please vote yes, and thank you for your time.
And again,
yes, this is Jason, and I'm a smoker scan viewer.
So which items would you like to speak to?
Let me get all of the items and then public comment there, Pumpkinhead.
Okay, so welcome back. I'm going to ask that you please stick to the items. And during general public comment, you do need to speak to something that's within the subject matter jurisdiction of the city. With that, you have 3 minutes for the items. That is items 1 through 27 and items 81 through 123. And then you'll have 1 minute for general. Go ahead.
That's mighty mighty there. So the other day I'm down on Figueroa with this chick, and I paid her $5 to let me, explore the back of her throat hole.
Okay, so which
and she was
item
telling
are
me
you
how she was trying to get with USA.
Speaker, which item are you speaking to?
I was speaking about with the Olympics coming. This chick that was down there on Figueroa.
So
she was having some issues.
I'm gonna ask you politely, and I'm sure we're gonna do this a lot. I'm gonna need you to identify the item you're speaking to, and if not, then I'll move you to general public comment. But again, during general, you still need to speak to something that's within the subject matter jurisdiction of the city. So, which item specifically would you like to speak to?
The one that has to do about the chick down there on Figueroa there trying to double up the charges for my.
It sounds like this caller is
move on to general public
insisting on
comment.
talking about soliciting
so you have 1 minute for general.
Trafficked victims. So we need to move on.
What the hell is this South Shoe Shuffling, Shuck and Jive?
Hold on.
Negro talking about up there.
Can we hold on, Speaker? Can we please reset the clock to 1 minute? You have general public comment. And again, I've asked you now 3 times. You need to speak to something within the subject matter jurisdiction of the city. And don't interrupt me. So you need to speak to something within the subject matter jurisdiction of the city. If not, you will forfeit your time. You've been warned multiple times. Go ahead. You have 1 minute for general.
All right, understood. Well, can you have that South Shoe Shuffling, porch shuck and jive, porch Negro not interrupt me, bald-headed Negro behind you, not interrupt me
This
also?
is not on topic. Let's move on to the next speaker, Mr. City Attorney.
Oh,
next speaker.
You damn.
I am calling in regards to Scientology's infiltration of the city. You have to stop giving them permits. Hugo Soto Martinez, you know very well that Scientology is infiltrating your whole neighborhood and everything that you cover, Hugo. You know that you actually have the right and the authority and the ability to go and actually meet up with ex-Scientology children and ex-Scientologists and let you know how the fuck all this forced slavery, elderly abuse, child abuse is actually going on. Hugo, you are literally being lenient with Scientology's human trafficking by allowing them to close down a street last month for 3 weeks without a permit. They then violate the permits they do get, and nothing is done about it. Nobody is doing anything about it. Not Public Works, not Hugo, not anybody that has the responsibility to do it. So fucking city council
Thank you,
needs
Speaker.
to get...
Your time
All
has
right,
expired.
that concludes this call, and it concludes public comment both in person and telephonically for today's meeting. Mr. City Attorney.
Please lower everybody's hands, and please only raise your hand if you are here to speak on the bid items, that is 3 through 7. So if you're here for any other item or general public comment, then it is not your opportunity to speak. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, hello. How much time do I have to speak?
So we are taking the bid items. So the items that are open are items 3 through 7. So are you here to speak to those items?
Sure.
Okay, so you have 3 minutes for those bid items. Go ahead.
Great. Hi, this is DanielGust.substack.com, multi-award winning journalist focused on corruption from this LA City Council. Since I was not able to speak on the other agenda items, I'm going to speak for the full 3 minutes, 1 minute for each of these bid items. And I want to tell you, as you will see on DanielGust.substack.com, because I'm going to optimize my voice for your silencing all of us for the past 2 years. For bid item number 1, I want to caution everybody involved to look very closely at how many indictments.
Mr. City Attorney, I'm sorry, Speaker, if you would hold for a second. Mr. City Attorney, this is 3 minutes for the bid? Got it. Okay. My apologies, Mr. Gus. You can proceed.
Thank you, sir. Because we have a new era here, as you'll see on DanielGust.substack.com. I want to caution about the first bid item. For every participant in the item and every observer who's watching this meeting, to note how many people on City Council and their staffers have been indicted, have been investigated for corruption in this city. So if you are involved in bid item number 1, I want to tell you, hold on to your wallet and watch the corruption. Watch the corruption, because there are all sorts of things going on that the mainstream media isn't telling you about. I'm going to move on to bid item number 2. Similarly, I want to caution all participants and observers for bid item number 2 to hold on to your wallets, because this city council has done everything it could to silence me, to silence all of the critics and gadflies, or whatever you want to call us, or Jason, who's talking about a legitimate crime going down on Figueroa. Shout out to Smoke and Scan, by the way, that you are actually in danger of being implicated in whatever criminal conduct has been going on with this city council. And since I couldn't speak on the other items today, I'm going to exhaust all 3 minutes today talking about these corrupt bid items, because as I'm going to move on to my third bid agenda item today, by the way, this SB 707 is supposed to stop crap like this from you silencing the public about stuff like this. So you better get your act together before you come back from your month-long vacation. I'm going to tell you that right now, because public comment, public criticism, and investigating this city council for corrupt bid, like anything else going on in the city, hold on to your wallets, because the city council and city hall in its entirety is corrupt from top to bottom, whether it's a bid or anything else on this agenda. Look how they've tried to silence critics. And all we're doing out here is pointing to the corruption on the first bid item, corruption on the second bid item, corruption on the third bid item.
Hey, Mr.
and
Gus,
every
your
other
time has expired. And again, this is for callers who have not yet spoken. So if you've already provided public comment during virtual or in person, you are not eligible to call in at this time.
Good afternoon. I'd like to speak on the 3 bid items, piggybacking off of Daniel Gauss at danielgauss@substack.com, please.
Okay, so you have 3 minutes for the bid items. Go ahead.
Hello? Thank you. Good morning, Monaco, Ziggy Piggy, Sambo, No Lip, Buckethead, the unelected, and the cop hater. Don't forget Adderall addict. We know who you are, sniff, sniff. You all are corrupt. We know that on the very first bid item, it's just corruption.
This isn't on the bid.
Everything that we've been trying to do.
Mr.
It is about the bid, actually. Thank you, Sambo. You be quiet now. I'm speaking. I appreciate it. We have a problem here in our city, and on bid item number 1, it's absolutely corrupt on what you guys are trying to pass through. You guys are trying to pass through so many items today, but we're going to focus on 1, 2, and 3. On number 2, I guarantee you
Item
that
number
Mr.
2 is
Wayne
not open for
Spindler
public comment. So
and-
again, it's items 3 through 7.
Sorry, 3 through 7. I have it written down because I had so many notes. But either way, I guarantee on number 7 that Wayne Spindler, Donald Harland, Armando Herman, and Arnold Sachs would definitely agree with me that we are all just showing corruption here. You guys have not done anything in the last 2 years other than pass money through and try to get things, but you're not putting the money where it needs to go. We know what you've been doing. We are watching you. The
Speaker,
feds are watching you.
I need,
And all
again,
I
the
can
bid
say is
items
this
are
is
limited, so
truly
this is your
yours,
only warning.
Mrs. Holden
I need
Cox.
you to connect it to the items or you will forfeit your speaking time. So this sounds like general
It's
public
fine.
comment.
I said, this is Mrs. Holden Cox, okay? And I'm just saying, y'all are frauds. Y'all need to get it fucked. And you know what? Smoking stands for life. Peace.
Okay, and staff, is there anyone who has not yet spoken, or is that? Okay,
Yes, my name is Jason. I'm still a smoke again, Bureau Pumpkinhead.
Okay, so this is your only warning. You have already called in. Do not disrupt this meeting. If you call in again, you will be removed, and you will be ineligible to speak at the next meeting pursuant to the council
Come
rules.
on, Pumpkinhead. I'll
So
trade your dog
next
for a minute.
next
Time,
speaker.
brother.
Again, only callers that have not had the opportunity to speak yet, and they're only callers here for the bid items.
Next is item number 117, called special by Councilmember Hernandez for a separate vote.
All right. Do we have no speakers on this item? Let's open the roll. You want to say something?
Yeah.
Councilmember Hernandez.
Thank you, Council President. When we saw this last time before us, I made my position extremely clear. Any exemption should only be for homeowners whose primary residence was destroyed and people who genuinely need help rebuilding, not LLCs, investors, or people with a portfolio of properties. We had the opportunity to write those protections into this ordinance, and we didn't. And I have to ask, where was this energy when tenants were facing displacement and rent gouging after the fires? Where was this energy when tenants in my district lost their jobs as nannies and gardeners after the fires and had no idea how they were going to pay rent? Because I remember introducing an eviction moratorium for those people, and that died in council. It's hard not to notice when wealthy property owners need relief. We're willing to bend over backwards, jump through hoops, do flips, whatever it takes to meet their needs and desires. But when working class people and tenants need protection, suddenly our hands are tied and the political will is not there. I support relief for fire survivors. I believe it is our responsibility, but I do not support creating another loophole for the ultra wealthy while reducing funding for affordable housing, homelessness prevention, and tenant protections. So I'm voting no because the city facilitates everything and anything for the super rich while it buries the working people of Los Angeles in process and protocols, and I cannot in good conscience support that. Thank you.
This ordinance is already strategically narrowed and customized. It's an exemption that applies in very narrow circumstances to original owners and first transactions for 5 years only for residential properties. This is the least we can do as this community continues to recover. I know it has been a long road, and I appreciate your continued support. I ask for your aye votes today. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no other speakers, let's open the roll on this item, close the roll, tabulate the vote. All right.
13 ayes, 1 no.
All right. What's next? Announcements, members. We'll begin with Councilmember Rahman.
Thank you so much, Council President. Today, I just wanted to rise because the Council District 4 office is saying farewell to someone who's been a fixture in our office since we started, our Deputy District Director, Walker King. Walker was a volunteer, yes. Walker was a volunteer on my very first campaign during COVID and led phone banking for lots of volunteers who have told me over the years how much they learned about Walker's musical tastes because he would play that during the phone banks and actually learned to love it and learned a lot about music. His tenacity and passion for making Los Angeles a place that we're really proud to call home made him a very easy early hire and has been an incredible addition to the Council District 4 office ever since. He helped whip our office into shape when we first returned to City Hall post-lockdown, and he's been indispensable ever since. During his time in office, he's kept our Council District 4 operations and administration running smoothly, and his willingness to work with every department and sometimes hassle every department, from the Bureau of Street Services to the Office of the City Clerk, has made it easier for our field deputies to solve problems and keep projects moving. Walker has demonstrated incredible care, compassion, and collaboration in his work, and he's been an incredible liaison to help Council District 4 residents navigate the dynamics of city bureaucracy. Among his many contributions, I did want to share he was instrumental in establishing an arts grant program that we did in partnership with DCA, which gave $300,000 to artists and art organizations in Council District 4 during a time of great need. And it was really incredible, including supporting local theaters and people who had faced real challenges as a result of COVID and the wildfires. Council District 4 is better for having had the opportunity to work with you, Walker, and I'm emotional at seeing you go, but so excited for your next journey as you head to NYU to earn a master's in public administration. You're going to be dearly missed by our team, especially by our entire field team who is here today, our council district, and our city as a whole. So thank you, Walker, and on behalf of the City of Los Angeles, we wanted to present you with this certificate, and thank you for everything you've done.